They're gonna land on top of Stark. Another dragon. Yo! Who we are is internal. The essence of who we are is internal. That's why external things can never fill the void of our internal void, emptiness, based on trauma, abandonment, attachment, struggle, whatever it is. This is the reason why we have to view ourselves much more than the jobs that we do. Who we are is not what we do. And what we do does not define who we are. We are much more than that, right? Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome back to my detailed psychological analysis of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 2, Episode 1. Happy Frieren Friday. Let's leave all the yapping for the actual episode and let's get straight to this. Assassination Zero, Tirtanas, Weixiang, Samsonian, Helixi, Jin Ichimaru, Roxy Lomuller, and Maxi Tissi are the sponsors of today's video. I appreciate your support. Shout out to the best patron and YouTube members family. Sit back and enjoy. And remember, you are worthy. You matter. Very, very excited for this. It's been a year and let's get to it. Oh, the music. I miss it so much. Sorry for muting as always, of course, for copyrights. Frieren! Oh, look at that smile. My favorite trio. It looked like Frieren picked up their luggage from under the tree. Was Frieren taking a nap? Since Frieren, as we know, represents eternal youth. This seemingly immortal being, thousands of years old, who still retains her innocent, childlike behaviors. Not childish, which has negative connotation, but childlike. Because this reminds me of a favorite saying. Getting older is inevitable, but growing up is a choice by retaining that purity. So I feel like Frieren took a nap and fell asleep. Yay. Very excited. This is a callback and reference. We're starting the episode with they're on a carousel again. And this is how episode 1 in season 1 also started, with the exact same parallel and callback of Frieren reading her mage book that I commented about in episode 1 of season 1. And this is the same thing. Frieren is reading her mage book yet again on a carousel, traversing down the road, which is of course her favorite hobby, collecting magics, spells, and of course studying magic, because Frieren also represents this forever growth mindset. Growth mindset is a concept by Carol Dweck, right? It's our ability to get better, get smarter, because our intelligence, our capacity is not fixed, but rather we can refine it, we can get better at it, because practice does not make perfection. Perfection is a lie, but rather perfection makes progress. Yep, same scene. They're always struggling with money. Fern the accountant, don't forget. Fern the financial advisor. Fern the only person who is financially accountable and responsible. Exactly. Preparation is king. First Mage Fern also. Yeah. Ende, the end. Unimaginably long journey, again, symbolizes and represents Frieren's journey beyond journey's end after the passing of Himmel the hero, but also Frieren's time perception, temporal perception, and this immortal nature of Frieren. Unimaginably long journey. But of course, That's life. Because as I talk about in a lot of my series, life is a team sport. It's not a solo sport. And can we play team sports individually? No. It requires a team. And think about Frieren's emotional growth, her reconciliation with all the lessons that Himmel the hero imparted and instilled that took her many, many more years to finally recognize and internalize through the help of Stark and Fern. Because Frieren is not just a teacher or a mentor. She's also seeking lessons and deriving lessons and deepening the lessons that Himmel the hero, which is the mentor of life, life's mentor to Frieren, through this unimaginably long journey. Whether it's this immortality or our fleeting life of 80, 90, 70 years, God willingly so, we need to rely on one another because life is a team sport. We cannot walk this path of life alone. Otherwise, life will be unimaginably long. Look at that smile. That's the meaning of Frieren's smile right there. Her little smirk. She's like, it is unimaginably long. However, does not feel like it because I am no longer walking this life, traversing through this journey alone. But rather, I have my amazing social relationships, amazing companion of Stark and Fern. Two people that she cherishes more than anyone since the hero's party. Did you guys expect I'll be yapping for 7 minutes and we're only a minute in? If you're new to my channel, you're in for a ride. And if you're OG returning, leave a comment so I can appreciate your OG support since day one, seriously. And also I'll be analyzing the opening sequence and the ends since Patreon folks said that there's no spoilers. And obviously by the time you're watching this will be at the end of the video. 29 years after Himmel the hero. I'm glad my PTSD for hundreds of years, thousands of years flashing by will not be repeated in season 2. Stark the fisherman. Dang. Yo, Stark could defeat that red dragon within 30 seconds by himself before his warrior training with that mysterious Mr. Miyagi dude. But he can't catch a fish. I'm dead. Nice. I believe in you, Stark. True. Wow. Only one of the few things that could trump Frieren's love for napping and sleeping in is her intellectual curiosity, her growth mindset. Did you praise her? Remember behaviorism? Behaviorism is a field of study where you can condition animals to do the way you want them to be, like by praising them, operant, condition. Not to turn this into psychology 101 classes. But obviously every time Frieren does well, who pets her, who praises her? Fern. Of course, Frieren also learns petting someone's head is an endearing gesture. It's a gesture of love, physical contact, physical touch, which she learns by Himmel the hero and Heiter the bishop. Whoa! What is that? Uncut gem? What is that? Is that worthy? Hopefully it's valuable. Hmm? Whoa! Whoa! It's definitely a foreshadowing of some sort. Is this episode gonna be about them losing their ability to cast magic and having to overcome that challenge? It's very sus that we're starting with the nullifying crystal. Interesting. Oh! Oh, wow. Oh, it's valuable. Damn. A mansion. Dang. Oh, it's a double-edged sword. If you can make it to like a town and sell it, They don't have to worry about finances for a long time. Frieren, the accountant, Frieren, the financial advisor, will be very pleased. But the flip side is their lives will be at stake because they can't cast magic. This one thing they're hyper dependent upon, right? Interesting. Interesting. Wow. No money! They'll be cooked. Whoa. Whoa! Wow. Frieren, again, like I said, Frieren represents eternal youth, like I said in the beginning. Frieren's curiosity, her childlike, not childish, childlike curiosity. She's like, let me first show you something really interesting property. This chemical reactions, mana reaction. It's amazing, imbuing mana. And Fern is just her deadbeat, very aloof, indifferent. She's like, it's blinding. I can't even open my eyes. Let's start a fire. Let's, come on, get this shit going. Toss that out. Zero interest. Who is a true caregiver? And of course, some context from season 1. And if you guys haven't seen my season 1 analysis, I strongly recommend check it out right here, because a lot of my concepts, insights are in continuation from my season 1. But of course, it's not necessary to watch it. Anyway, Fern was obviously parentified. Parentification is when children are forced to grow up too fast out of necessities of hardships of their circumstances. So with that, who is a true caregiver? Fur or Frieren? I'm dead. Oh, it's still glowing. Wow. It's like a good for a landmark. Volcanic area. Volcanic dragons? Hot spring, nice. Nice. Also, Fern sounds different. Did her VA change, or is she just grown older, more mature, becoming first mage, coming out of mage tournament, obviously alive? I'm sure it's like a seasonality. She's just grown more mature. But she sounds more, not somber, but she sounds more grounded, more mature. Oh, squirrel! Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, scare me. Oh, it jumped. Yo, they fell into a cave? Good thing they're mages. Because of volcano? Uh-oh. Why they're falling? They're gonna land on top of Stark? What the fuck? Again, I was right. With that foreshadowing of that crystal, it was extremely rare to find, yet Frieren found it. If there is a crystal of that size nearby, the odds of there being bigger sources is probably very likely. They fell into an underground magic nullifying cave. That little size could nullify magic of 3 meters of radius. All right, sorry guys, I'm getting excited. Oh man, I'm getting hyped. This is entirely, it's an underground cave entirely comprised of massive life sizes, like massive sizes crystals. They're cooked. They can't use their magic. The one thing they depend upon. Huge. Oh, Stark, the body mattress. Yeah, billionaires. Oh, so it's like diamond, because diamond is one of the hardest materials. So I'm guessing magic nullifying crystals represents diamonds in the modern context, with so obviously worth a lot in addition to their nullifying properties. Yep, completely immune and nullifies his magic. What a start to the episode. Impressive writing. Did not see this coming. Whoa! Good thing Stark is a warrior. No magic needed. Oh shit. Wait, is because Stark is a warrior, and obviously in a traditional MMORPG, setting, warriors do not use magic. But do warriors also use mana? So, because we saw the impact of Stark's hit, and we know Stark could slash a red dragon in 30 seconds. So he's also very, very OP. Yet he was not able to even leave a dent or a scratch. So do warriors also rely on mana? And do they also use magic? But they're just manifested as more physical attack versus like magic attack? Wow, they're everywhere, dude. Man, they're cooked. Okay. So Stark could still defend them. Ordinary girls. Stark is like, girls? You? You're older than my grandma's grandmother girl? Yes, Fern is a girl, but you? But I think, remember Stark said girls, plural? Because in Stark's mind, Fern is also not just a girl. Because Fern could put Stark in his place and can whoop his ass, right? So in his mind, girls, what are you guys talking about? If anything, I'm the girl and you guys are the protectors and guardians. But look at, jokes aside, look at Frieren's stoicism. She's very stoic. And obviously stoicism was popularized by one of the great modern writers, Ryan Holiday. He authored Ego is the Enemy, Obstacles Away, right here. Many, many other books. And stoicism, simply put, is our ability to regulate our emotions. Emotional regulation, definition right here. And emotional regulation is not the same as suppressing or denying our emotions. It's not about being in denial. Regulating our emotions means when we feel our feelings, when our emotions come up, fear, anger, sadness, in this case, probably anxiety, because these mages lost their magic abilities. It's our ability to regulate it so they don't spill over and it's not impairing our responses to what's happening. So stoicism is about, it's not really about the things that's happening to us, but how we respond to the things that's happening to us. Because life is full of uncontrollable variables, things we cannot control. So Frieren is very stoic. I asked a question in many episodes ago, does Frieren hold grudges? And many viewers are like, oh, of course, grudges against demons, yes. But also here, she still remembers that Stark one time called Frieren, you old hag. So I guess Frieren does have a perfect memory. Aww. This is a callback to the, was it? Again, the labyrinth, the maze, second round of the first maze tournament. They're just exploring. They're just having fun. And this is another homage. They're paying homage to Himo the hero, who never cared about getting to the bottom of a maze just for the sake of solving it, checking the box. But rather, it's the journey. It's the process that's rewarding. The outcome, the destination, that's great. That's reflections of your effort, sure. But the lessons that we learn, it's actually through the journey, the process, the trials and tribulation. We never learn and get better from achieving something, but rather we learn and grow from the process in pursuit of achieving something. That's what they're doing. It's very peaceful. They're just exploring, having fun, creating memorable memories. Oh, wow. It's a lot of bones. Those bones, I think, foreshadow there's danger at stake. I think there's a looming danger. Otherwise, how did those creatures or monsters die? Maybe of starvation, but I think that's a foreshadowing that something dangerous is coming. We'll see how they respond. Oh, I love the theme song. Stark is fishing again. I might be overcooking, but I think their fire might be a bad move by them, because obviously in the wilds, if you know anything about survivorship in the wild and wilderness, by making campfire, the smoke, cooking food attracts wildlife. In this case, maybe it's going to signal and it's going to attract monsters that's hidden.
動物の骨も大量にありました。
Yeah.
フリーレン様は大型の魔物の巣かもしれないと言っていました。
Ooh, what did I say? Uh-oh.
よくぐっすり眠れますよ。
Nothing can stop her from sleeping. We see, all right, so focus on Fern's face right now. Listen to her tonality, because again, if you guys are new to my channel, I'm a forensic psychotherapist. So studying micro expressions, which is the technique by BAU, Behavioral Analysis Unit, in the forensic justice, like the law and enforcement team. Micro expressions, the change on a micro level on people's facial expressions. And through micro expressions, you can observe fear when people are lying, being whatever, right? If you look at Fern's micro expressions and her tonality, she sounds more somber. She sounds more down. That represents anxiety, fear. Right now, Fern is in a fearful state. Why? I'd argue she's going through an identity crisis, loss of her identity. The identity of a first mage, this prodigy, coming from the great lineage of Flamme, the legendary mage, and Frieren, the elf, and Fern, right? The latest first mage, by surviving the tournament and even recognized by Zairi, the being closest to goddess. But here, none of those identities matter. They all are obsolete, meaningless. That's why she's fearful, because she lost her identity. And extrapolating this to the modern context is very deep. So many people, generally speaking, especially guys, experience midlife crisis. Why do they experience midlife crisis? Because so many of guys, so many of us, we identify ourselves through the accolades and the jobs that we do. But accolades or jobs or achievements, those are externalities. Those are external things. Who we are is internal. The essence of who we are is internal. That's why external things can never fill the void of our internal void, emptiness, based on trauma, abandonment, attachment, struggle, whatever it is. This is the reason why we have to view ourselves much more than the jobs that we do. Who we are is not what we do. And what we do does not define who we are. We are much more than that, right? But I could really, really sense and feel Fern's anxiety right now. And I don't blame her one bit. All of us will be in the same shoes. Because like Frieren said, without magic, in this underground cave, they're just ordinary girls. I hope a Stark step up in this episode. Yeah. The stark, pun intended, stark contrast between Frieren's stoicism and Fern's more genuine, authentic fear. Because the gap of their experience is huge, right? Ooh, one of her strength, mana detection skills. Uh-oh. Yep, visual representations. It's feel like I've been plunged into total darkness. This is a major first obstacle for Fern. She's never had to rely on her biological self without the mana capacity. Her mana detection skills is amazing, right? And her, again, she's a prodigy. But here, all the identities she grew up as, gone. Oof, that's scary. Very scary. Stark feels, oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. They shouldn't have started the fire, man. What'd I say? Oh man. Oh! Uh-oh. Oh, oh man. That's an ugly ass dragon. Oh gosh. Stark has to protect two people who's completely disarmed and trying to fight and defeat and escape. Oh my gosh, Sir Stark. Summon your inner Aizen the warrior. Do it anyway. Summon your courage. Let's go. This episode's about Stark. Wow. I trust you with my life. Oh, it's making me nervous. That's true. Stark is about to become the tank and the warrior. without and the soul DPS. Let's get it, Stark. No, nope, that's not true. That's not true. Stark, you're the man that wants to desperately run away, yet who summons that amazing courage and steps up during critical moments. It's Stark's insecurities and I think imposter syndrome coming up.
そうじゃあ一緒に逃げようかシュタルクヘレン
We saw Frieren putting her hand on that crystal. I remember again another setup. I love the writing in the show. Remember in the beginning, the seemingly benign innocence. Let me show you the properties. The crystal is blinding, and it blinds for a long time, and they literally couldn't see. That's why Frieren was scolded by Fern. Here we saw Frieren's hands putting her hands on top of the crystal. And shall we run together? I think Frieren was going to imbue her mana and make it blinding and maybe blinds the dragon and run away. And it's a very useful tactic even for modern women and females in the modern context. Those very powerful LED flashlights, you can, especially though, like if you buy like the tactical ones, you can get them on Amazon. It's a really good self-defense tools. Again, because I'm a veteran, right? If you're dangerous, sure, you can have pepper spray, tasers, but also sometimes a blinding flashlight could blind like potential aggressors and perpetrators, and you can maybe run away. I think that's a tactic that Frieren is thinking about.
目をつぶって
Yep. Called it. Whoa. Call back to Himmel and Hero's party.
そんなことは軽々しく口にするもんじゃない。
He means it. Aww. Wow, parallel process. Aww. Aww. Aww.
僕たちはパーティーなんだから。
Party. Unit of one. Oh, yo. Another dragon. Yo. Yo. Goosebumps. Sorry, let me close my mouth.
ハイターは酒臭いってさ。
Aww. I was like, it wouldn't be Frieren if we don't include a flashback about Hero's party and of course Himmel the hero because he is him. Obviously Frieren said, you want to run away together, I trust you with my life. Same thing she learned from her life's mentor, Himmel the hero. Oh, beautiful. And I'm very, very excited to see how really powerful Aizen the warrior was and even Himmel the hero. Do you see how fast he was? He freaking dodged that freaking beam of fire from that dragon. Yo. Aw, reminiscent of their good old days. Aw. Oh. Wow. So one more quick yapping since I yapped a lot. I think Frieren's ability to be stoic in light of unknown danger is one, yes, her experiences, two, her wisdom. But I think most importantly, third, her confidence in Stark. That's amazing. Our ability to entrust our lives to our teammates, someone else, is absolutely unbelievable. And that's why obviously battle mates and battle buddies and camaraderie for military folks like me or first responders like firefighters, right? Even police officers, it's very special because how many of us can we say we have a handful of people that we can truly, ultimately depend our lives, trust them with our lives. This one thing that we have, because we only live once, unless you're Jesus, right? That's amazing. And I hope the episode also talks about how this trust allows Stark to also step up, get more comfortable, and also rely on his teammates. Because obviously Stark is an orphan, just like Fern, represents a lot of trauma. But anyway, let's keep watching. See? That's why Frieren's smiling. Aww. This is Stark's episode. Amazing.
フリーレン
何？
腰が抜けた
Ah. This is the reason why I think Stark is one of the most beloved characters and why Stark embodies doing scared anyway, the true pinnacle of courage, just like Aizen the Warrior, because they're of the same lineage. Because yes, he's absolutely shit scareless. His legs give out all the time. But when it really counts, during most critical moments, he always steps up. Oh, Stark, you're the man.
昼飯の食材こんなもんでいい
I guess they're having salad for lunch.
よし魚でも釣ってくる
I'm glad episode 1 of season 2 is giving Stark a lot of camera time, because obviously the last few episodes of season 1 was first mage tournament. So Stark didn't really play a role. So this is amazing. Obviously I love Stark. Again, I hope all of us can summon our inner Stark, because he's not perfect. He's not the typical hero's journey. He is as equally flawed as we are, but he steps up. He's getting better. This growth mindset, this progression, non-linear progression, because life is not linear. Life is entirely non-linear and even exponential if we put in the work, and Stark definitely does.
の辛抱ですね。
Hot springs me sick. Ooh, jewelry. I know jewelries have a lot of symbolism in Frieren.
綺麗になった。
Oh, that's the one that Stark gave her for her birthday. Aw. And obviously, Fern's that butterfly thing represents her first magic spell, the butterfly, with Hyter the Bishop from episode 2, I believe, in season 1.
鏡レンゲのブレスレット。シュタルクからもらったやつ。
Mirror Lotus means what? Forever happiness, I think?
フリーレン
Aw. Yeah, exactly.
フェルンって楽しそうに道具の手入れをするよね。そうですか。
Because these are not just equipments, they're not just tools. It's not just jewelry. These jewelries and tools represents some of the most meaningful memories, meaningful experiences, and meaningful people in Fern's life. That's why she takes good care of them. Yeah, exactly.
嬉しいのかもしれません。
Yes. Aww.
頑張って選んだ甲斐があったかな。すごく悩んでましたもんね。な
Aww.
んで知っているの？
Oh.
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 エッチ。
Etchy.
本当に久々してるって知らなか
Ah,
った
I
ん
mean,
だ
they're
よ
not bathing. Look at Stark. Stark is still sulking and sad. I think in Stark's worlds, there is like the red dragon, right? Tier 1 monster that he defeated by himself. There is the venomous dragon that he had to run away because it was pretty OP. But then there's the ultimate raid boss, Fern. What is Frieren thinking?
思ったんだけどさ。
何
もしかして今ちょっと空気
I forgot. Frieren's not the most socially astute because she doesn't really care about the little things. That's why obviously she doesn't usually mitigate tensions and conflicts. Yeah, that's a progress. True.
ことあるよね。二人って相性悪いのかな。
そうは思わないけど
Nah, that's not it.
あのなフリーレン俺はあ
別れ道ですね。
フリーレンあれってもしかして宿屋か
Oh, very
主要
welcoming.
な街道沿いだからね。
A major highway. It's just dirt road.
フリーレンじゃねえか
Yo! I'm glad to see some of the old characters from First Mage Tournament like Verbal. Nice. I'm glad they're getting more camera time. That's great.
フレッサーの討伐の時は助かったぜ
Nice.
リアベル元気そうだな
Yeah. Nice.
結局カイロで帰ることになっちまった。
Remember Verbal? Another hero inspired by Himmel the hero, from seemingly trivial acts that have very long-lasting implications and impact. That's why legacy making is so amazing. We don't always get to determine the legacy that we leave behind. That's literally what legacy means. It's being determined by the impact that we make, aka deemed by other people. So Himmel the hero didn't become the hero for the sake of accolades, but he was just being authentic to his values, his calling. But through that genuine, authentic impact making, legacy was built. And yeah, and I think the fact that they're reconnecting with Verbal and stuff, Verbal and the part and other members from the tournament, I think it symbolizes the power of meaningful relationships and connections. And for modern folks, I think to me, it means this is a reason why we never want to burn bridges. And this is a reason why, again, like I talked about in the beginning, life is a team sport. We need to deepen our relationships, make connections authentically, genuinely. Because fake connections are not meaningful and they're not long lasting. And of course, not everyone is going to be in our lives forever. Some people are in our lives for the season, and that's okay. But just a, I guess, call to action and just a friendly reminder that nothing is more meaningful than meaningful relationships.
こいつらとは帝都の港町まで一緒。結局カイロで帰ることになっちまった。
Like I was saying, I think Verbal represents the meaningful impact and the power of making authentic and genuine relationships. This is a reason why in the modern world, there's a saying, never burn your bridges. And fake, superficial relationships do not last forever. And of course, some people are in our lives for a season. Not everyone, not every relationship, not every connection we make will be meaningful or will be a lifelong relationship. That's not the point. The point is, can we show up to the best of our abilities within our authentic selves? Can we be genuine? Can we be true to who we are? By being true to who we are, our authentic selves, that will open the gateway and allows us to cross path and interact and eventually deepening our relationships with other people who accept us for who we are. And I think that's the meaning of them crossing their path with Verbal yet again. I'm glad that all these characters from the first Maze tournament are making a reappearance and getting more camera time because especially Verbal, a hero inspired by Himmel the hero's legacy, because we do not determine our legacy. Our legacies are determined by the impact we leave behind. In other words, other people get to determine our legacies. In that sense, Verbal is a hero, and he's not the sociopath initially talked about in last season, right? He's a great guy. He's a really, really good guy, just like Himmel the hero.
言っとくが俺はまだおっさんじゃねえぞ。つい最近まで20代だったんだ。
Oh.
それ別のおっさんもよく
それでシュタルク、あの話は。
Oh, wow.
無理にとは言わねえ。戦線を安定させるまでの2、3年だけでも支えてほしいんだ。
They're trying to poach Stark away from the party? And remember, this is, I guess, a continuation of when Frieren asked, Stark, I don't want to force you if you don't want to stay with us. And then they saw that crossroad in the highway. So, wow. Did not expect this. Is Stark going to leave them? What is going on?
前にも言っただろビアベル。俺はこのパーティーの前衛だ。
Nice. We saw the camera quickly zooming into Fern, and she looked nervous. She was like, because obviously, lovers quarrel. We need to see them together. We ship them. And I hope in this season, we see their romance blossom into something beautiful. without Fern losing her savageness. And of course, I hope Fern continues to roast Stark and Frieren alike. Wow, respect. See? Respect. Manly's
フ
man.
リーレン
フリーレン様
Interesting. I wonder if Frieren also learned something from Himmel the hero about one's free will, autonomy. Because if Stark willingly chooses to stay even after Verbal's attempts to persuade him, then I think Frieren then know that he will be a permanent member. Actually, I'm not really sure because, yeah, I take all that back. I'm not really sure why Frieren is allowing or willingly let Stark to be potentially persuaded by Verbal. And obviously Fern wanted to interject because of course Fern does not want to lose Stark because again, lovers quarrel.
だからシュタルクにとって私たちのパーティーは窮屈だ
I
ったの
guess
かも
Frieren's
しれ
being
ない
thoughtful.
シュタルク様
ビアベルの話なら断ったぜ。
Aww.
シュタルク様はそれでいいんですか
フェルン、俺がなんでこのパーティーにい
Oh,
ると思
deep.
う？
Alright, let's see. Some deep talk.
フリーレンたちと初めて出会った時さ、本当はもう限界だったんだ。全てを放り投げて村を見捨てて逃げ出そうとしていた。最低だろ。フリーレンはさ、俺のことを無理やりパーティーに誘ったって言っていたけど違うんだ。
シュタルク様は逃げないと思います
That's right. That voice of confidence. I bet at that moment, during Stark's most vulnerable emotional and psychological states, Fern was that beacon of light. I'm sure Fern was the first voice of confidence, first person that believed in Stark. Because remember back then, Stark also struggled and had this misconception that Aizen the warrior, his teacher, abandoned him because of his cowardlessness. But of course, that was not the reason why Aizen the warrior hit Stark. It was the opposite. Aizen the warrior's fear instinct kicked in. It was a reflexive reaction because Aizen sensed Stark's dormant, but nonetheless hidden OP nature, right? But of course, that misunderstanding, was that ever clarified? I forgot. But anyway, all that to say, you would not abandon someone who showed up for you during your most vulnerable state. It's not just a loyalty. It's a deep sense of indebtedness and gratitude. Yeah. Gave him second life.
に加わったんだ。フェルンは気がついていないだろうけどさ、臆病な俺をここまで引っ張ってきてくれたのは。
Aww. So wholesome. Oh, I love this show. Awesome.
だからもっと優しく。
Ah! Ah!
じゃあおいでいっぱいあります
何企んでるの？怖い。
めんどくさいなこいつ
Oh, what a pain in the ass. I'm dead. That was, yes, that was a comedic and wholesome scene, but it speaks volume. What Stark is demonstrating is actually him healing and reconciling with his trauma. Think about Stark's context, because context creates great content. Stark ran away as his village was being slaughtered by the demon generals or demons. Of course, he didn't run away because he wanted to. His big brother, another hero from the episode, another callback, the Real Hero episode, his brother encouraged him to run away because little boy like Stark, getting slaughtered does not make any meaningful changes. It's a waste. That's why as his brother and the father, the shitbag of a father, right, who were defending the villages, he ran away. And I think that's why he struggled with attachment. He struggled with relying on another person. He struggled with attaching himself with a new meaningful group because of his trauma. Because the last group he relied upon died, slaughtered. he ran away. That's why I think he became hyper independent, especially with his misunderstanding with Aizen the Warrior. But at last, in season 2, episode 1, I think he's finally making that massive leap of faith, that massive leap of healing, reattaching himself to this party. In a sense, this party has also become an extension of his identity. And that reminds me of a concept called identification, definition right here. The process of identification is when we internalize, when our internalized values, instilled beliefs, role model for Stark, it will be Aizen the Warrior, becomes a part of our identity. So for example, let's say my dad's not a firefighter, just an example. My dad's a firefighter. He demonstrated and instilled the virtue of courage. And over time, I internalized that courage. And I also want to become like my dad. I want to become a firefighter. That's the process of identification. In that sense, that's Stark's identification. Internalized courage by Aizen the Warrior, his teacher. And now he's stepping up to the plate. But most importantly, he is now part of a new family. Not family by blood, but family by choice. Chosen family. I would argue in many instances, because there's many shady parents, shady families, shady family trauma out there, many of them. Chosen family sometimes carries more impact and is even better and more meaningful than certain blood families, based on their circumstances, of course. This is a monumental step for Stark. He is no longer alone. He has a team for life, a new chosen family. Of course, Frieren's passed out again. Aw, Fern is so happy. See? Looking at the bracelets gifted by Stark. Oh, Fern was so scared. Oh. Fern was holding on to her bracelet as she was being carried away by Stark. You see this beautiful parallel process? It's a flip scenario. Fern showed up in front of Stark's life during Stark's most vulnerable states. But this time, Stark stepped up and showed up during Fern's most vulnerable emotional and psychological states. So deep. So wonderful. I love this show, man. Oh, man. Aww. Financial struggle.
まあ北部高原は師匠たちも通った道だしな。
They're not taking the shortcut. I'm guessing traveling by boat is the fastest way of travel. I guess the most efficient pathway. But again, another reference and callback to him of the hero, the labyrinth, maze. It's the journey. It's the exploration. And if they get to the end too fast, then we're going to miss out on some episodes in season 2, right? So we got to milk this out. But jokes aside, obviously, the meaning of the meaningful pursuit is in the pursuit itself, not the destination. Yeah. Detours are okay. Yep.
まあいい。どうせ北の果てにもいつか来るんだろ。
They will reunite.
その時に。
Yay. Sayonara. Bye. Hope they stay alive.
こうか。
Shall we go then? Episode title. Let's go. My heart just feels so full. Them walking away in a trio, number of 3. Same ending as episode 24 in season 1. Them walking away together. Embarking on a new journey. Beyond journey's ends. And of course, music is muted for copyrights. The falling of the petals of flowers represents what? The flower creation spell. And that's why Sairi, who deems too optimized, they're like, oh, flower spell is useless. But she still ended up allowing Fern to pass as a first mage. And the seemingly useless spell is the one that ended up saving the world. That's the meaning of this flower. Man, beautiful. Animation got better too. The production got better, yep. The field of flowers, Frieren. Memorializing Himmel. I think that's why Frieren tuck in the flower spells, because flower spell represents Himmel the hero. Ah, so excited. Himmel the hero, the OG hero party. Of course, heroes party represents the perfect imperfection. Of course, sounds paradoxical, but it's not, right? Heitor the bishop is what? The most corruptible priest, yet heart of gold. Frieren is what? One of the most powerful mage that is also deeply flawed with her, I guess, laziness, her love to sleep, and all these things. Himmel the hero, right? Obviously, he's a hero, but he's very goofball and just, he's very real. And Aizen the warrior, the most powerful warrior ever resided on this realm, who represents fear, but doing it anyway. That's the similarity with Stark. Because being courageous, courage literally demands fear. Because without fear, there is no courage. So if you're not scared, you're not being courageous. You're just doing it. Does eating a slice of cake requires courage? Maybe for some, but for most, not really. Does that make sense? So Heroes Party is a group comprised of people who are flawed, yet together they were able to accomplish the seemingly impossible. That's why perfection is an illusion. There's no perfectionism. It's just about managing our flaws, becoming more self-aware, deepening our self-discovery journey, increasing our insights, but most importantly, the power of meaningful connections, power of meaningful social relationships. Because Himmel by himself, or even Hero of the South, I'm excited to see more of him in season 2, hopefully, since he never really made an appearance and got 0 camera time. Or Frieren, one of the most powerful mage ever, besides Zyren or Zyri. They could not have defeated the Demon King by themselves, but together they were able to accomplish the impossible. We need one another. Life is a team sport. Nice. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah, Himmel the hero. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, great music, great theme songs. We saw Frieren picking up that blue flower. Again, blue flower was Himmel's favorite flower, and the catalyst, the catalyzing event that inspired Himmel to become Himmel the hero. Frieren picked it up, reminiscing and memorializing one of the most remarkable and meaningful humans that ever left a permanent imprint, Himmel the hero. Oh, and transition to Stark and Fern. Ah, whoa, whoa, whoa. So many memories. Ah, we saw that obviously Frieren has the flower, what do you call that? Flower crown that obviously was bestowed by Himmel the hero. And I'm guessing Frieren also made the same flower crown for Fern. It's like a passing of lineage, passing down torch of hope, torch of mentorship. Amazing. Aww. Trio. Holy Trinity. The trifecta. Alright, I'll be analyzing the ending scene. Himmel the hero. Oh, sick animation, dude. Wow. Sick animation. I bet Himmel the hero is writing that letter to Frieren. Whoa. Man, animation sick. And no spoilers. Spoiler free. Heck yeah. Butterfly. We see Frieren's shadow from the blue. Obviously blue light. Lantern represents blue flower. Himmel the hero. Flower, life creating spell. And obviously her shadow is butterfly, which is Fern. Aww. I think her with the lantern also represents, although physically Frieren was by herself, but she was actually never alone. She carried the torch. She carried the spirit of Himo the hero with her. But of course now, in the present tense, she has Stark and Fern. Butterfly, flowers. Flower spell. I love the symbol of the pigeons. Obviously, pigeons and white birds in storytelling represents hope, a new start, infinite possibilities, renewal.
なんだか大げさだな。
単に面倒な依頼が好きなだけですよ。
Whoa,
ご苦労様
cliffhanger.
仲間で
でも
私は死
まず彼
Whoa.
を倒すことがで
Whoa,
きた。
whoa, whoa.
南の勇者だよ。
Episode 30 is called the Hero of the North. Wow. Or Hero of the South. That super powerful warrior, right? Anyway, enough yapping. I apologize for the Wi-Fi connections. The city is doing some construction nearby the building and the Wi-Fi has been spotty this whole week. It's extremely frustrating. But anyway, as always, if you enjoy my in-depth yapping, please smash that thumbs up, right? I pour my heart out. Support your favorite yapper. But also make sure you don't miss out on Free Run Friday every Friday. As always, I appreciate you for tuning in. And feel free to join our Patreon and YouTube membership for 1 week early access, exclusive content, and voting power to influence the next series. And remember, you matter. You are worthy. Remember, life is a team sport, and let's not try to do this life alone. Until next time, peace.